quiet storm is brewing inside the FIA, and its target might be Carlos Sainz Sr. Just weeks after he expressed interest in running for the FIA presidency, Mohammed bin Sulayem unveiled a sweeping wave of rule changes that critics say are anything but coincidental. From restructuring the ethics committee to rewriting election rules, the timing feels surgical. Is this about reform or about removing rivals before they even get started? What started as a quiet reshuffle has now erupted into something far more serious. A full-blown political maneuver. Insiders believe it's a calculated move to cement bin Sulayem's grip on power and silence anyone who dares challenge him. Bin Sulayem, already a controversial figure after repeated clashes with F1 teams, drivers, and media, is now pushing through changes that shake the very foundation of the FIA's governance. On the surface, these changes are labeled as reforms, but many in the paddock see them as tactical plays, moves aimed squarely at blocking Carlos Sainz Sr. Just days after the respected former rally champion and father of Ferrari's Carlos Sainz Jr. announced his interest in the presidency, bin Sulayem unveiled changes that would make any challenger's path far more difficult. Among them, extending the deadline for submitting candidacies from 21 days to 49 sounds harmless, not when you consider the new ethics committee, filled with Sulayem loyalists, now has more time to disqualify candidates on integrity grounds. Carlos Sainz Sr. addressed the speculation directly. He said, "I believe this is the right time to take on this challenge. My career in motorsport has given me a deep understanding of the sport, and I want to contribute positively to its future." And to silence concerns over conflicts of interest, he added, "I would step back from any involvement in my son's career to avoid conflicts of interest." Meanwhile, bin Sulayem defended the changes with a technical explanation. These amendments are to ensure the Senate can act with the right expertise and urgency on key matters. It sounds reasonable until you look at what happened next. Two key figures, who had been leading ethics and audit investigations into bin Sulayem's past conduct, were abruptly removed. No public explanation, no debate, just gone. They were replaced by hand-picked loyalists, and that matters because these committees will now oversee the vetting of presidential candidates. If you're not in favor with the current administration, you could be blocked, silently, and without due process. It gets worse. The FIA Senate, once a key check on presidential power, is being transformed. Previously, members of the Senate were approved internally through votes, creating a balance of power. That's gone now. Under the new rules, bin Sulayem himself can directly appoint Senate members. The watchdog now reports to the one it's meant to watch. This follows a series of questionable moves under Sulayem's leadership. Earlier this year, he pushed for fines on drivers for swearing on team radio. The backlash was immediate and brutal. The policy was scrapped. Yet Sulayem claimed it as a win, stating, "These changes aim to balance sportsmanship with emotional realities." Critics call that spin, another case of provoke, retreat, and reframe. But this time, there's a clear target, Carlos Sainz Sr. He's more than a legend. He's connected, and his candidacy would likely rally support from across motorsport, from drivers to national federations. And that, insiders say, is exactly why the rulebook is being rewritten. If it were truly about transparency, why fire the people investigating misconduct? Why eliminate checks and balances days after a potential challenger emerges? Several insiders have reportedly been silenced with NDAs. Former FIA officials who spoke out faced legal threats. The message? Stay quiet. To the average fan, changes to candidacy deadlines and committee seats might seem minor. But in motorsport governance, these are tectonic shifts. If unchallenged, bin Sulayem could secure total control over the next FIA election, facing no credible opposition. And for teams and drivers, this isn't just politics. The FIA president influences technical rules, steward appointments, and regulatory enforcement. Imagine a controversial penalty. Now imagine challenging it, when the president controls both the oversight committee and the rule book. It doesn't stop there. Liberty Media is pushing harder for influence over F1's commercial future. If the FIA's governance is seen as unstable, it risks the legitimacy of the entire sport. Sponsors, broadcasters, national federations, they all start to worry and walk away. Some defend Ben Sulayem. A few delegates support his grassroots efforts and cost-cutting vision. But even among allies, there's unease. If you have to fire your investigators, silence your critics, and rewrite the election rules to stay in power, how stable is your leadership, really? That's the question echoing through the paddock. Whether Sainz Sr. runs or not, the system now seems rigged against him. And that's the real story. Not just that someone's being blocked, but that the rules of the game are being changed mid-race. If motorsport wants to protect its integrity, its institutions must be stronger than any one man. Because if that balance collapses, it won't just be an election that suffers, it'll be the entire future of the sport. So, what do you think? Is this a necessary tightening of leadership or a dangerous power grab? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more insight into F1's hidden power plays, check out the next video on your screen.